It's the biggest event in wrestling history as the stars of AEW descend on London. The anticipation for AEW All In is at an all-time high. These are their faces. This is their story. Welcome to AEW Countdown to All In.
Did I ever think I was going to be defending a world title in front of the most historic crowd in the history of professional wrestling? Yeah.
It's a massive, humongous event. MJF's walking in as the AEW World Champion.
It's a huge moment for him to step up as a mega star of this company and own that spotlight.
Nobody is on the level of the devil.
I always knew deep down that I was going to achieve this goal. I'm literally the most unstoppable AEW World Champion of all time.
Adam Cole's experienced big moments in professional wrestling before.
I imagined traveling the globe. I imagined winning world championships.
And those boys and girls back there, they respect me.
This could change the course of Adam Cole's life.
Did I ever think this was gonna happen? No, but I'm damn glad that it has.
To be known as the greatest tag team of all time, there's one thing we gotta do. Young Bucks.
I am the greatest. I am the greatest. My power of iterated. Yeah. History I'm creating. History I'm creating.
Wembley Stadium.
It's destiny in the making.
FTR. All in.
I'm on top of my game. Like I always be. Some things never change. And the best you will see. GOAT. It's simple and plain.
Young Bucks. FTR. Number 3. The rubber match. Who is the greatest tag team of all time? Top guys. Out.
It's death for the taking. It's destiny in the making. I am the greatest.
The trilogy coming up at All In London. We can only assume they want to see who is the greatest tag team of all time.
It's death for the taking. It's destiny in the making.
While a certain real world champ was traveling around the world, teaching all you simple people that he was the best in the world, I knew in my heart he never was better than me a day in his life.
Joe still thinks he's got something to prove. He wants to get that one back just because I beat him. But I lived for 20 years knowing that I couldn't beat Joe.
The job is to beat me, not to survive me.
It wasn't him conquering me in that ring. It was him escaping me. I want to pick a fight in London, England, and damn it, you won't give me what I want.
I've never said no to a fight.
This is me setting you straight and making you understand how things work in this world.
You call yourself the king of television? Well, I'm the king of wrestling. Come take my crown.
Hikaru Shida had the best reign as AEW Women's World Champion of, I think, anyone.
She was a champion during the pandemic, so she was competing in front of no one.
A very emotional victory for the new AEW Women's World Champion.
You saw the crowd reaction when she defeated Toni Storm to become the AEW Women's Champion.
The heart of a champion, the instincts of a champion.
They're all toxic, they're all backstabbing. It's disgusting.
We have the powerful wrestlers, we have the very quick wrestlers, we have women with attitude.
Hikaru Shida, Dr. Britt Baker, and Toni Storm, they know what it takes to be on top here in All Elite Wrestling.
We're all four fighting for one title.
These are four of the best wrestlers in all of professional wrestling.
After what happened last week, maybe I should change a few things. So Don, my answer, if I want to be a part of the Don Callis family, is yes! Yes!
Let's go drink Broadway dry and beat up some rednecks just like back in the day. Come on.
What's with the picture there? If it's a gift for me, Don, I want to see it. I do want to celebrate, and I want to celebrate with this picture with me all night long.
Well, he's got some explaining to do here, doesn't he?
You are...
34 years of friendship be damned. Oh, Konosuke Takeshita was coming in with a steel chair.
What was that?
Will Ospreay! Don Callis calling in reinforcements. Ospreay! He called in Will Ospreay, Taz.
Out of nowhere! I'm here to tell you the truth about Kenny Omega. After everything I did for him, Kenny Omega has been like a cancer in my body. And what do you do with cancer? You cut it out.
Callis came to us with an offer. And that job is taking Kenny Omega out.
God of pro wrestling, you were gonna show us.
If you're gonna start a beatdown, you have to finish it. Kenny's not finished, and neither is he friendless. Because in London, Kenny will have there two of his greatest friends in Hangman and Kota Ibushi.
The misery that you made me feel, Don, it's coming back twofold on you.
Me and my family are gonna cut Kenny Omega out of this company for good.
Since I was 10 years old, Uncle Don was always there, ready to coach and guide me.
Myself and Kenny Omega make history. Former IWGP World US Champion, Heavyweight Champion, former AEW World Champion, put together by Don Callis.
Uncle Don is the guy that stabbed you in the head with a screwdriver.
It goes to show you, sometimes despite all your efforts, the things that you count on don't have your back.
Kenny Omega, you all love him, but I know the real Kenny Omega. The real Kenny Omega is a coward and a punk.
Kenny and his friends have deceived all of you into believing that the elite is the peak of Bullet Club. We're here to set the record straight.
You see, we have history. You two have history, Kenny and Juice. I ran you out of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You guys can call yourselves the elite. There will be no elite without Bullet Club.
We're gonna show you guys. It's more than about fighting. This is about more than that. Heart, passion, soul, friendship.
Wembley, 80,000 people?
Hangman, Ibushi, Kenny Omega.
You got an ass whooping coming from Bullet Club Gold!
Two of his greatest tag team partners of all time, Hanger and Ibushi. Three of the best to ever wrestling at the same time. One team, one stadium. We will be unstoppable.
Kenny, if you want someone to put you out of your misery, that's what Don Callis sees.
Don, you call me the god of pro wrestling. As the god of pro wrestling, I have the power to giveth, I have the power to taketh away. I'm gonna embarrass you.
It's all on the line for you. You're gonna feel every reaction from this crowd, and I hate to think what your mental state is gonna be like when you get embarrassed.
From not just Don Callis, from Konosuke Takeshita.
Don Callis, you will never win this battle.
And all in, Bullet Club Gold! Show that they are a cut above the elite.
We are the heart! We are the soul! We are the elite!
What do I think about FTR? I don't like them.
About 2016, we really started to make some noise in the tag division. We really started making some waves for ourselves. And until that time, Matt and Nick had been the unquestioned kings of tag team wrestling.
Our friend Cody actually came up with the initials on our hit show on YouTube, being the elite, FTR. At the time, it meant F, the revival.
They started this FTR, the revival. And, you know, that's something that's always stuck with me. And I hold a grudge. I will admit that. I hold a grudge. And it's 2023, and I can't say that I'll let go of that grudge.
Of course it made them furious, because we were laughing about it. And we laughed about it because we knew we were better than them.
We never had to acknowledge them. They started taking the shots at us because they were finally questioned as the greatest tag team in the world. And that's carried over. You know, we came to AEW almost strictly for that reason, to find out who is the best.
At the end of the day, when we finally decide to hang up our sneakers, everybody is collectively finally gonna give us our flowers, and they're finally gonna say, the Young Bucks are the best tag team to ever do it. And in my opinion, they're just gonna be remembered as the tag team that the Young Bucks named on their YouTube show.
I'm very proud and I'm happy about how they've carried tag team wrestling. But also, on the other side of that coin, you have FTR. And we've done everything they've done, and maybe even a couple of steps more than that. I don't know another tag team that has a resume like FTR, except maybe the Young Bucks.
We've been doing it better than them, longer than them, at a higher level than them.
Now, we get to do it on the biggest stage of our careers for any of us.
Wembley is where we put the bow on our legacy. FTR versus Young Bucks, the biggest tag team match of all time.
These stadium shows,
a different beast.
It's scary, it's intimidating, it's so big, you don't realize how big it is until you're in the eye of the storm.
At the end of the day, FTR, Dax and Cash will be the absolute best tag team of all time, bar none. And at Wembley, we prove it.
The relationship between me and CM Punk, it's always been complex outside the ring. We've been there for each other in our toughest times. At the same time, we've both caused some of the roughest incidents that we've had in our life.
In 60 minutes, you failed. And tonight, you'll fail again.
Samoa Joe is going to retain the ROH World Heavyweight Championship in the greatest trilogy in ROH history.
Joe was a guy that brought the best out of me. If there's one thing that I'll never do is forget who Samoa Joe is.
You've always been competitors, and that's how it always will be.
Why has CM Punk never been able to beat Samoa Joe?
You gotta go with Samoa Joe. It really does look as though nothing has changed.
Turning Joe's momentum against him. And now using Joe's... Oh, wait. Back to the choke.
On the escape.
Hold on a second. Shoulders down. 2 in a row. 3. He got it.
That loss, I cannot imagine, sits well with Samoa Joe.
I think to have some kind of an identity crisis is really scary, and I think that that can make a scary man even scarier.
Joe is hell-bent to not just beat Punk, destroy him.
I want to pick a fight in London, England, and damn it, you will give me what I want.
Did I win because along the way I learned something to beat you, or along the way did you lose something?
Joe is rocked. What in the world is this?
I accept, bitch!
CM Punk wins, Joe loses. Can you live with that?
This match is really just a battle of pride, and it's a battle for Samoa Joe at redemption.
Does this match mean everything to me? Yes, because it's about everything we've done.
Every time I wrestle you, I leave pieces of myself in the ring, and it's hard to put the pieces back together afterwards.
I take from you, Punk, which some say you don't deserve to have in the first place. I will be the king of AEW.
I don't necessarily think that either of us are going to be the same after this.
Why do you have your sights set on Chris Jericho?
Oh, mate, my sights set on Jericho. You having a laugh?
Gosh, the resume of both of these men, this is a match that's make or break for Will Ospreay.
Mate, when I was a teenager, I was watching Chris Jericho. Hell, my dad knows Chris Jericho, my granddad knows Chris Jericho, do you know what I mean?
One could say that because we're wrestling in London and Will Ospreay is from Great Britain, that he would have the advantage. But here's the fact. Chris Jericho is a mega star. Jericho has been a star on a major level much longer than Will Ospreay.
30 years of pro wrestling. And it's not just been 30 years, bits and bobs. Some you can drift off, some you can't. Consistently.
A man that is known for his reinvention. He's been able to have the grandiose, the cachet, all of those bells and whistles, the things that come with being Chris Jericho. Then you look at somebody like Will Ospreay, who has been deemed the greatest of all time from a very young age.
We've seen Will Ospreay compete, not just here in AEW, but around the world. And there are very few athletes ever that have walked this earth quite like Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay is a once-in-a-generation professional wrestler, and in my opinion, he's the best in the world today.
You know what I offered him? Your head on a platter at Wembley.
After I beat you in wrestling's biggest event, I am going to be the only man to say I've beaten Kenny Omega, Okada, and Chris Jericho in 2 months.
And we can rule the world.
This is Wembley. It's the biggest show of my career. Don't tell me this is a vanity project for me. This is bigger than any WrestleMania. This is bigger than any Tokyo Dome. This is bigger than anything. You're coming at this from the bottom. I'm coming at this from the top of the effing mountain with everyone trying to knock me off and every hater in social media trying to predict my demise. I know I am the best wrestler in the world. All your championships, all your legacy, I respect it all, mate. But I'm better than you.
Women's wrestling is at a point now where we are viewed equally as the men. We're not just women wrestlers, we're wrestlers, we're athletes.
This match is so important to all 4 women. To be the AEW Women's Champion is everything to that entire division.
The one thing that makes this women's division so special is the arrival of me.
She's returning home for the first time wrestling in a long, long time.
I haven't wrestled in the UK in 9 years, so I do feel like I have a lot of pressure.
And now Saraya, good night on Sky Blue. Ray Ray's going to Wembley.
To be on the sidelines and now be back center stage in front of 80,000 plus people, but especially her family, for me, it's gotta be Saraya.
The only thing special about this women's division is myself and the Outcast.
She wants that title. She wants it off of Shida.
10 years ago, I moved to the United Kingdom, and I made a big name for myself. And now, I go back, and what a homecoming it will be at Wembley Stadium, all of those people coming to see me.
Well, Britt Baker, she wants to become the AEW Women's World Champion again. She's obsessed with it. I respect that about Britt.
She punched the ticket. The match is set.
I know everything that's coming. I know what to expect. I know these 3 wrestlers better than they know themselves. I think I have that advantage more than anybody.
Shida's got a big target on her right now against 3 extremely capable women that are all former world champions.
There's no crack in Hikaru Shida. I have so many things I want to do with this title. I can't lose this at Wembley.
Shida can't get through a match without her kendo stick. So no, Shida, you are not ready to face me for the very first time.
I have my 2 friends out there. Everything is gonna go according to plan.
I can't think of anything I want more than to hold that title up high in front of 80,000 plus people.
Still AEW Women's World Champion.
This is an incredibly interesting dynamic that me and Max find ourselves in.
It connects. 1, 2. What?
You know, traditionally pro wrestling, it's 2 guys who can't stand each other.
A 30-minute time limit draw.
5 more minutes.
2 guys who want to rip each other apart. 2 guys who will do anything and everything to win their match.
We just had the drawing for that blind eliminator tournament, and the first name I drew was Adam Cole.
My whole entire life, I don't think I've ever actually had a real friend that I could trust and that I could be 110% open with.
The second name that we drew, the man who'll be your partner in the tournament, MJF.
It's borderline strange that 2 best friends are going into AEW's biggest event of all time, challenging for the most precious prize in AEW.
Good luck, partner.
Yo, Max, where you been? I've been here doing cardio for an hour. Let's go, come on.
I get to be in the main event for the grandest prize in professional wrestling, the Triple B, and I get to make history with someone who taught me that I don't have to be on guard 24/7.
It's an unexpected relationship, but I do think that it's a real relationship.
It's been something that no one thought was possible.
He has become one of, if not my very best friend.
He sacrificed Cole to block the Shatter Machine.
At the end of the day, Max has something that I want. And as much as I appreciate and respect the fact that I'm going in there, biggest match of my entire life, with my best friend, that means the world. It would mean just as much. It would mean everything to become the AEW World Champion that night.
He's not beating me. So that's kind of like pointless to answer that.
I made you a promise. I'd give you a shot at the Triple B.
This is business.
You don't deserve just any match. You deserve the match.
This is about being top dog. MJF wants to hold on to that. Adam Cole wants that again.
How poetic would it be for us both to walk out of Wembley world champions?
I entered this sport at 18 years old. I was a prodigy. I knew it all. Or at least I thought I did. And then I met you, Adam. I truly appreciate you. As a competitor.
The both of us want to go down as the greatest professional wrestlers of all time.
I love you like a brother, but a win in Wembley will make me legendary.
I pray to God you bring your A game, because I know I'm going to bring mine.
MJF, Adam Cole.
Teammates become opponents in the main event.
All in.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Baby.